This video is meant to show you the three main tools that we have access to in the CIRC space to cut through cardboard. Safety is always a #1 priority. If we see any student using any of these tools inappropriately, that will be considered a level 4 offense, reportable directly to the principal, and it could result in an expulsion from school or out of school suspension. So we do not mess with these tools, but if you do them properly, everything should work out perfect.
When you're ready to use the Canary Saw, you want to make sure you grip it just like how I'm gripping the saw. You want to hold the actual piece of cardboard that you are cutting. You want to make sure that you are making a straight line. That's what the purpose of the Canary Saw does. When you have the cardboard stable, you want to make sure that your hand is not anywhere close to the blade. It almost looks like the blade is not going to be sharp, but it is a very super sharp blade, and you do not want to put your fingers on it or anywhere close to the blade. As you are using the blade, you are just going to saw down the middle. As you can see, my hand is in a safe distance away from the knife. Back and forth. And then after I'm done cutting it, put the blade down, and then you have a perfect square. This tool is not meant to cut round objects like you can see on the square piece. You can't force it to cut around. It can only be used as you are holding it and then gripping it and making the straight blade. If you're needing to cut a circle or a type of a shape that you cannot cut with the Canary Saw or the X-Acto knife, we do have a pair of ultra duty cardboard cutting scissors that when you use them, it's easier to cut through the shape, because then you can move it around and being able to cut a little easier than you would with the Canary Saw or the X-Acto knife.
The next tool is using the X-Acto knife while cutting cardboard. An X-Acto knife is a very important knife to use. It's very important to know about the safety that is very sharp at the tip and on the sides, and that's actually a good thing because what we say is a sharp blade is a safe blade. If it was very dull, it would be really hard to cut through cardboard, and you're going to put more pressure on an easier way for the knife to slip and cut yourself. If it's a sharp blade, it should go through nice and easy. When holding an X-Acto knife, you hold it very similar to as you hold a pencil. You're just going to rest it onto a middle finger, cradle it in your thumb, and then pinch it with your index and thumb. So that's the proper way to hold an X-Acto knife. You typically hold slightly above or slightly on this rough edge of the X-Acto knife. You don't want to play too much with this edge because this can loosen the blade on the knife. So I have the X-Acto knife in my hand, and now I want to cut a straight line onto my cardboard. To cut a straight line, you don't want to cut straight down into the cardboard. It will score the cardboard, but it's very, very difficult. You want to have the knife at an angle so you can you pierce it, and then you just pull it down the cardboard. And most likely you're not going to cut all the way through the first pass. You may have to do 2, 3, or even 5 passes all the way through to get to the other side. So just keep going across the same line until you feel you're all the way through. Place the knife back down onto the cutting mat, lift, and see if your cut went through the cardboard or not. Cutting with the X-Acto knife blade, it's meant to be cut with the cardboard flat on the ground and making multiple passes. The X-Acto blade is not meant to be cut like the Canary Saw, where it is up and you are cutting through. It does work, but it is far more dangerous for your hands and those around you. So that's where you pick up the Canary's tool saw to cut all the way through in that way.
When using the glue guns, you want to make sure that you always have this light on
the power strip. That means that the glue guns are on and they are functional, they are working. You want to make sure that if you did turn it on, it takes about 3 minutes for the glue guns to heat up.
When removing the glue gun from its stand, you want to make sure you are only holding it on the actual handle of the glue gun. Never touch this part as well as the black nozzle, as those two parts are about 350 degrees. And for those of you that don't know how hot that is, it's what we cook cookies in our oven. And when we remove something out of there, we always have some kind of a holder that we're holding oven mitts to remove that. So never touch this part of the gun as well as the black nozzle. When you are done, making sure that you always place the actual glue gun back on its stand. As you can see, when I remove this, a lot of students in years past have always put this glue gun on the table, and there's a lot of excess glue. So never put the actual gun on the actual table. Always make sure you position it back in the stand properly. If for any reason you are not able to, when you press the blue nozzle and the glue does not dispense any glue, it could mean that the glue stick needs to be replaced. That's when we grab another glue stick, put it into the hole at the very top of the glue gun, and then you would be able to glue. And again, properly set it back onto the stand. When you are using the glue gun, you always want to make sure that you are gluing over one of the trays on the table. And please make sure to never put the gun down on the table when you are not using it. It always goes back into the stand. So again, glue over the tray. When you're not using the glue gun, please make sure you put it back in the tray. This is an example of how you can use tabs to support two pieces. As you can see, it's very unsturdy, so all I need to do is rip it off and it's not going to stick. What we suggest that you do, rather than using glue and glue spreading out of the bottom of the cardboard, what I would recommend is using these tabs that you can cut 2 small rectangular tabs, fold them into half, and then all you need to do is put 2 small drops of glue. And depending on how your invention is, if your invention is something that you want to see on the inside, I would recommend to put the actual tabs on the outside of the support, just like that. And then I would do one more. So as you can see that I did not have to use a whole stick of glue, and I don't see all glue squirting out the sides of the 2 cardboard tabs. So if you would like to make something where the person wants to see it on the outside, you probably wouldn't want to put tabs on the outside. What I would recommend then is putting the tabs on the inside. And then all you would have to do is kind of do the same thing as I just explained before. Take a tab, put 2 small little drops, and put it on the inside. And you do want to be careful as you are putting these tabs on and putting the glue, because it is a small piece of tab, so you don't want to burn yourself. You want to be careful. And then let it dry, and then you've got extra support. So even if you want to put it on the inside and the outside, to have that extra support. If I want to take these 3 pieces and glue them together, I'm just going to show you the amount of glue that I would need in order to do that. What I would recommend is just a small drop of glue on all 4 corners is all you need. You don't have to smother it with glue. And the same thing. And
as you can see, there's not glue all squirting out the sides, and I just used small little amounts of glue. All right, what we would recommend is rather than when you're sticking something in and you want to support and you notice there's some glue coming out of the sides, you do not want to touch that glue, especially if it just came out of the gun. What we would recommend that you do is to take a popsicle stick, and if you need to push anything or straighten anything rather than using your fingers, using a popsicle stick would definitely help and save the burn on your fingers.